Channel Study Time. So today we will discuss a poem named A Photograph by Shirley Tolson. It is from the book Hornbill, Class 11. So let's begin. Let's see who is Shirley Tolson. Shirley Tolson is actually a poet, journalist, and a travel writer, and was a highly regarded poet and an innovative writer. The poem is a tribute to the poet's mother. Begin with the poem. The first stanza here is: the cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling. See, in these lines the poet is looking at an old photograph. Actually, the photograph is pasted on cardboard and makes the poet recall the old memories of her mother's childhood. See, the cardboard shows me how it was. तो एक पिक्चर है जो कि कार्डबोर्ड पे पेस्टेड है और पोएट जो है इस वक्त उसको देख रही है. When the two girls cousins went paddling. Paddling means walking. Each one holding one of my mother's hand. In the picture there are three girls who are walking on the beach holding each other's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. तो उसकी मदर की एज जो है it is around 12 years and she's in the center of the among the three girls, and the girl in the middle is the tallest and oldest. The two girls on each side are younger than her. तो जो बाकी की दो लड़कियां हैं वो उनसे छोटी हैं. She is the big girl. The photograph is a depiction of her mother's enjoyable moments at the sea beach with the two cousins who are younger to her. तो वो अपनी cousins के साथ है. उसकी जो poet की mother है वो center में है और बाकी उसने अपनी दोनों cousins के हाथ पकड़े हुए हैं. उसकी mother की age around 12 years और so, मतलब around 12 years उसकी mother की, poet की mother की age है. The next lines are: all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. Now some uncle is taking their picture. Here the poet describes how the photograph was taken. Her mother's uncle took the photograph and told them to stop and pose. All the three of them left their wet hair open and smiled at the camera. वो तीनों खड़ी हैं, they are smiling and looking at the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. The poet's attention is drawn towards her mother's face, which is described as a sweet face. The photograph was taken long before the poet was born. उसकी mother उस वक्त बहुत young थी और poet की birth से बहुत पहले ये picture ली गई थी और उसको अपनी mother का face जो है बहुत ही ज़्यादा sweet लग रहा है. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. See, the sea has not appeared to be changed. It is just the same now. पहले भी वो वैसी थी sea, अभी भी वो वैसी है. The beach is just the same, but their feet have changed. Their feet have changed. The poet calls their feet terrible transient as they were so young by then, and now they have grown older. On the other hand, the sea which touched their feet has changed less. तो यहाँ पे हम इन लाइनों को थोड़ा अच्छे से समझ लेते हैं. The mention of the word transient indicates the ever-changing lives of human beings as well as the shortness of their stay in the world. हम इंसान जो होते हैं, we humans have to go one day. In contrast to the eternality of nature, the girl's life changed drastically during this period, but the sea has not changed. The stanza beautifully explains the transient nature of human beings. So the next lines here are: some 20-30 years later, she had laughed at the snapshot. Snapshot means this photograph. Here the poet is talking about the same photograph. See Betty and Dolly. So उसके जो cousins है, उसकी mother के उनका क्या नाम है? Betty and Dolly. She would say, and look how they dressed up for the beach. So after 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the photograph. She would tell me to look at her cousins Betty and Dolly and how their parents dressed all the three of them up for the beach. The poet still remembers how her mother would laugh at the photograph, remembering the sea holiday with a fondness as well as a sense of loss, because at the time would never that time would never come back. In the same way, poet feels nostalgic thinking about her mother and her laughter. तो वो उन सब चीज़ों को रिकॉल कर रहा है जो पोएट है कि उस वक्त उसकी मदर आफ्टर जो इस पिक्चर को लेने के 20-30 इयर्स बाद वो कैसे उसकी मदर बिहेव करती. Was her past, mine in her laughter, both free with the labored ease of loss. The sea holiday was poet's mother's past, and her mother's laughter has become a thing of a past for the poet, as her mother has now dead. She's dead now. So both the poet and her mother feels nostalgic thinking about the past and trying to accept the reality. Nostalgic means when you feel happy about something that happened in the past, when you think about something that happened in the past and to feel happy. But here the poet and her mother feels nostalgic thinking about the past and trying to accept the reality. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of these circumstances there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. See, the poet says that her mother died 12 years ago. Because उसकी मदर की जो एज थी इन द पिक्चर इट इज अराउंड 12 years. सो वो अब 12 साल पहले मर भी चुकी हैं. द सेम एज हर मदर वॉज इन द फोटोग्राफ. ठीक है. Whenever the poet thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. Death has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. The poet can feel the grief but is unable to express it through words. तो उसका जो साइलेंस है वो बहुत कुछ कह रहा है लेकिन वो वर्ड्स में उन सब चीजों को नहीं बता पा रहे. जो पोएट है तो वो कह रहा है कि there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. So let's look at the literary devices used here in the poem. Alliteration, that is a repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words. The instance of alliteration in the poem are as follows. Stood still, S is used. Through there, my mother's, terrible transient, silence, silences. तो इन सब में alliteration use हुआ है. Oxymoron है, a term which contradicts itself, labored और ease. Okay. तो दोनों ही ऑपोजिट इन मीनिंग है. एपिथेट है, फ्रेज एक्सप्रेसिंग अ क्वालिटी ऑफ अ पर्सन और समथिंग दैट इज टेरिबली ट्रांसिएंट. भी यूज हुआ है. द एग्जाम्पल इट साइलेंस साइलेंसेस. द सिचुएशन हैज बीन गिवन द ह्यूमन क्वालिटी ऑफ साइलेंस. एल्यूशन, एन एल्यूशन इज रेफरेंस ऑफ एन incidental mention of something either directly or by implication. An example of allusion in the poem is cardboard, which is actually referred to the photograph. तो स्टार्टिंग लाइन में ही हमने जो कार्डबोर्ड के बारे में पढ़ा था that was actually a photograph. If you like the video, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.